Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's Gupshup. We're all here to celebrate International Women's Day 2021, albeit a couple of days earlier. This virtual event has been organized by GAP, the Global Association for Strategy and Planning Professionals. My name is Nisha Katwani. I'm the community manager here at GAP, and I'll be moderating today's session. The topic for this year's Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. Joining us today is Ms. Tripti Shramali. Ms. Tripti Shramali is a certified happiness coach, a mindfulness teacher, and a facilitator consultant with over 15 years of experience. Having worked with junior to senior executives across industries such as manufacturing, flavors and fragrance, retail, telecom, BFSI, IT, chemical, and many more. Some of our clients include Bombardier Transportation, Bolor Logistics, Bajaj Finserv, Maersk, Software AG, Nokia, and many others. So let's shine some light on today's theme, Choose to Challenge. Individually, we are all responsible for our own thoughts and actions, all day, every day. We can all choose to challenge and call out gender bias and inequality. We can all choose to seek out and celebrate women's achievements. Collectively, we can also help create an inclusive world. From challenge comes change. So let's all choose to challenge. Before I hand over the floor to Tripti, I just wanted to mention this will be a recorded session, so our members can watch it later. Also, the purpose of these talks is to foster learning. So request everyone to share their views, opinions, and questions at the end of the talk. Or you could drop it in the chat box below so we can all learn. Tripti, welcome. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, Nisha. And it's an honor to be part of the Gupshup, like you said.
Right.
And I look forward to this interaction. And I welcome everybody here. So it's great to be with all of you on this occasion that we are here to celebrate for the International Women's Day. So Nisha has already spoken to you about the theme, right? Now, while we're looking at this theme, and what I would like to understand is, what is your view on this topic, which is choose to challenge? And we have a 1 hour window here. So, what are your expectations? So, if you could just quickly share one line, any one expectation that you have. Either you could share it, unmute yourself and speak, or you could put it in the chat box.
Welcome everyone once again. If anyone wants to go for it, unmute yourselves, and we would really encourage you to share all your views.
Hi Trupti, hi Nisha.
Hi Anand.
Long time.
Hi.
Okay, so choose to challenge. I missed Nisha the initial 1 minute because I was late. I'm sorry for that. But I guess when I read this sentence, choose to challenge, the only thing which comes to my mind is that when you're given an option anywhere in your work life or your personal life, you should always think of getting into a situation, always should choose a situation where you can challenge yourself rather than getting into a comfort zone. Now, it is applicable to not only females, but I would say it is applicable as much to males also. So that's what my thought is.
Wonderful, wonderful. And thank you so much, Anand. And I like that part where you said, we accept those challenges, not stay in the comfort zone, right? And it's applicable not just to women's because we're here for the International Women's Day, but I think it's applicable to everybody. And I'm very happy to see you here. And I would like to listen from you, the other part, which is also the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to
expectation from this? Okay, so what I feel is, or what I thought of is that yes, there are challenges in life. There are, and okay, as a risk taker, you would always take up a challenge when you are faced with one. What kind of attitude or approach you should be bringing on to try to fight that? You may not overcome it, maybe at the end of the day, but at least you have tried your best. So that attitude and approach, what you should be bringing in, what all are the key drivers for that, is something that.
Sure. Okay, great. Thanks, Anand. Anybody else? Kavita, Kritika, Deepika, your expectations, and what does Choose to Challenge theme mean to you? All right. Okay. So I think at any point in time, ladies, if you want, you can put the message in the chat box. So when you look at the theme, which is, globally announced as Choose to Challenge, and like Nisha said, that at each point in time, each one of us challenges ourselves and we accept that challenge because we want to make a certain change, because we feel that whatever is being said is probably there is something else that can be done. It can be corrected, it could be changed, and therefore I choose to accept that challenge. Now, that challenge could be right from when I look at the workplace, it could be, and if I'm seeing it from the women's point of view, maybe it could be fighting stereotypes. It could be biases, and I choose to challenge those biases that are there. If it is related to my personal life, it could be a challenge that I have for myself. Let's say it is my health, my fitness. Okay. So each one of us at different points in our time, at different points in our careers, I'm sure has taken up challenges and has won over these challenges. Yeah. So what I would want you to do is think about any one challenge. The last entire year has been challenging, right? I mean, it's exactly a year now. I remember 2nd, 3rd March last year was the last outstation visit that I did. I had gone visited Bangalore for a workshop, and after that, I have not conducted any face-to-face sessions. Yeah, but that entire year has been a big challenge for people across levels. I just want you to take a look at that year and pick up any one challenge that you personally feel you've taken up and you've accepted, excelled also maybe. Yeah? So feel free to unmute, speak, or type it in the chat box. If you can put your cameras on also, that will be great if you're comfortable. So I'll give you a minute to think about that challenge and then talk about it. I'm sure there are going to be many, many examples. The challenge could be related to your personal life or professional life. Either is fine.
I'll go on this.
Sure.
So it is a mix of both personal and professional. When we got into this lockdown situation, so my parents were not here. They were traveling and they could not come back. So they were there in Raipur for 7 months. Mentally, that was something because, okay, how will they cope up and all that? So that was going on in the back of the mind. At home, of course, all of us were working from home. So my younger brother, he was working from home. I'm working from home. My son has got a virtual school. And now my daughter is 18 months, but she was 6-8 months that time. And no help at home as well, except for my wife. So you have to support her also. So to make a balance between everything, that you have limited space and you have got a number of calls between the three of us, my brother, my son, and myself. And the other course, let's not get into the list of it. We all know of those. So to make a balance out of it and make sure that you do every part of your job, personal and professional, honestly, and you deliver what you're supposed to deliver at work, at home, and try to not take away little bit of work or little bit of efficiency away from any of the jobs which you're working on. So I would say that was an inherent challenge for all of us, and I'm not the only one, but I would still say that we could together at home, we could come out of it very beautifully. I mean, we had the best of the times. We managed everything very well. my work efficiency did not reduce, and we could deliver what we had to. So I would call that as the biggest one in last 1 year, to make that right balance and still deliver on every front which you're supposed to.
Okay, that's great, Anand. And I have a word for that, but I will share that after I've heard to some more of the participants. But wonderful sharing. Thank you.
Yes.
I think there's somebody messaged in the chat. Nisha, would you able to read that, or should I just take it? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry.
No
So
problem.
Kritika has shared that during the lockdown, the major challenge was coping up with work, and also always concerned about parents' health, as we had not much access to hospital with a fear of COVID.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. So that's challenge, at the same time, balancing. So I think there is an overlap between what Kritika you've shared and also some points that Anand mentioned. And I think at some point during these 8-10 months, we all have gone through these phases, right? But what do you think was the reason why we all could cope up with this difficult time during this entire pandemic? What was the key that we were able to do it? If I were to put it one word, like I said, I will call it acceptance, right? Mental preparation, readiness. Okay. And that mental preparation and readiness came only because we accepted that, yes, this is the pandemic. There is only so much that is in our control, but this is all that we can do. And just imagine the kind of responsibilities we took. If it was a working couple, I don't think it was limited. And because there was no help at home, when you go out of the house, the responsibility of house is away. But while you work from home, the challenges are, I know I'm at home, I have to cook food, I have to take care of the house, I have to do so many more chores. At the same time, like Anand said, my work productivity should not suffer because I am responsible for deliverables, right? And while we were trying to balance all of this, it was possible only because of acceptance and the support that we extended to each other, right? So I don't think the roles were specific to any gender at any point in time. Okay, any household which probably would have had very gender specific roles, I'm sure they would have had their own quantum of fights and quarrels and arguments, right? But that is where we all stood up to that challenge. And now how you look at the challenge is completely up to you. Whether I accept that challenge as something that I want to do in my professional life, something that I want to do in my personal life, not to prove it to anybody else, maybe just to prove it to myself. And with that note, I'm welcoming all of you here for this workshop. And I'm very, very happy, Anand, to see you here, even though it is the International Women's Day theme. You are here, and that shows that we are willing to celebrate the event, keeping that and respecting and celebrating that womanhood, right? So
Likewise,
thank
I'm very happy to.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here and participating. So, like Nisha said some time back, each one of us has thoughts, and based on those thoughts and feelings that we have in our mind, we keep taking actions. Now, these actions are what makes us prepared to take up those challenges. Now, if my thoughts are positive, if they are enabling, they nourish me, they thrive, and they help me to actually take the challenges very positively. At times, there could be situations where the thoughts are negative and they pull us away. It becomes, they put us into little corners in our mind, and we don't know how to come out of those corners. And that is exactly what is more important. Can we have the confidence? Can we build the confidence to confront these thoughts, right? Now, before we start the session, I would like to just share with you a couple of images. And what I want you to do is I want you to recognize these people if you can. Just tell me if you can see the slides. Yeah, all right, great, great. So, one sec. Yep. So can you identify this group of ladies here? You can type it in the chat box. I would want as many people to participate here. And Nisha, please help me if there's any message coming in the chat box.
Sure, Tripti.
I don't expect an exact answer. Even if you can tell me background, your guess, that's absolutely fine. Can you recognize this group of ladies here? Any guess, Anand, Kavita?
One face looks familiar, but I have absolutely no. I mean, maybe I'll take a wild guess that the Olympics team for India.
Not the Olympics team, no. Nisha, do you know?
I'm not sure, Tripti.
Okay, have you heard about the Tarini? The naval ship, which was completely led by women, who did that circumventing of across so many ports. Okay, so this was the team of those 6 ladies who went across the entire world. Okay, can you recognize this figure here? Profession will also do. The name not necessary, you should know. I'll give you a hint. She was one of the recipients of the Padma Bhushan Award this year.
Yeah, she runs an orphanage in Maharashtra for the
kids. Yes. Can you remember her name? Do you remember her name?
People call her with Ma, something Ma.
Yes, yes. So her name is Sindhudai Sapkar, and she has, like you very rightly said, she runs the orphanage, okay, for thousands of children that she's helped. And, so that's her background. This one was doing rounds on the social media recently. Any guesses? So this is the commando, lady commando who walked, on the Vogue theme in her uniform. And she is the one who is fighting Naxalites in the most interior of regions where even men commandos do not want to go.
Tripti, Kritika has said that it's, she says it's Seema Rao.
Usha
Rao. Okay.
So here, can you see the image? It's fine. You don't know the name. You can just tell the profession. Or what do you think she's doing here? What is the success being celebrated? Any guesses on the profession?
Kavita says mountaineer.
Yes. And Kavita, she is a mountaineer who has climbed Mount Everest twice. And she broke her own record of 2011 and 2017 by climbing Mount Everest in 5 days 2 times. Okay. That was her own record that she broke. Okay. And this lady, you won't be able to guess her name, so I'll tell you about her. She is the only woman to have traveled all the countries in the world in a span of 18 months. Now, the reason I had put together this slide with so many women from different walks of life was, do you think they all challenged at some point in time? They chose a challenge at some point in time?
Yeah, of course they chose a challenge. Actually, I would say that they actually built up a challenge for themselves, and which was much beyond maybe their physical ability or mental strength.
Absolutely, right? So each one of them, whether it is, somebody running an NGO, a social cause, somebody doing something, so like traveling so many countries in that much time, it's a challenge for myself. Why? Because maybe there is a stereotype that I can't travel by myself across the world. It would not be safe. Breaking my own record, it's a challenge for myself. Circumventing the world, because there were so many more challenges each day, each night. Yet, all of them succeeded only because they had determined and they kept that belief that yes, we can do it and I can achieve. And I think that is the most important point, where the strongest action that any woman can take, and not just women here, Anand, I think it is applicable to all of us, but more so to women, because somewhere, realistically comparing, women do tend to self doubt themselves a lot more than men. Okay? So, the strongest action that any woman can take for herself is, first of all, uh, be yourself. Okay, many a times I think we lose that point just in trying to please everybody around us. We tend to miss out on our own identity. Okay? So that is the first and foremost thing. Second is, can we love ourselves? Okay, so we know that yes, I'm good, but do we really love ourselves? Many a times, if you really closely answer, you don't know what the answer response could be, right? So love yourself, be yourself, and you need to shine. You need to shine amongst people who think that you will not be able to shine. Because that's exactly where, when you get success, you can get more confidence and you're more willing to accept challenges, right? So I think that's what all of us can learn and get inspired. And these are only few people. We have only an hour-long session. Otherwise, there are so many more, right? So now what I want you to do is a little activity, and it'll not take you more than a minute. Okay. So wherever you are in your workplaces, if any of you later watch this recording, I want you to take a pen and a paper and just write down the names of top 5 people in your life who are very special to you, whom you love the most. So you can either write names or write relations, whatever works for you. People who want, you can either directly put it in the chat. I'm fine with that also if you're comfortable. Okay, are we ready?
Okay, I think Kritika has shared her mom, dad, brother, sister, friend.
Okay.
All of these.
Okay. Anybody else who wants to share?
I can go to three. So
yes, Anand.
Sure, Anand.
I would say my family, and when I say family, it includes everyone in the family: parents, brother, wife, kids. Then my grandfather. Uh, then my ex-boss. He's no more in this world, but he made me what I am. My team always. I mean, the team whom I choose. I have been in love with them, and yeah, of course, my friends also come into that.
Okay.
These are the 5 groups of people.
Okay. All right. One more person. Anybody? Do we have any response in the chat, Nisha? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, Kavita says that it's her mother, daughter, father, husband, and mother-in-law.
All right. Okay. So, guys, you all have shared some of you have shared the relations. Now, my question to you is your name anywhere on the list? So, do we have
that's such a great point, Tripti. In fact, I was gonna also share about one person who's extremely important in my life, and that would have to be my mother. She, I think, is the light for all of us, the epitome of love, support, and she's just a powerhouse of positivity, right? So I remember during my growing up years, I don't think we ever knew what challenges or problems meant, because everything was taken like with a pinch of salt.
Okay. Yeah.
And we all know how our moms and all the women in our families kind of have like this innate talent of balancing things, whether it's professional, personal, um, just about everything can be handled. And I don't think she ever said no. I remember back in ninth grade, I had a very, now looking back in hindsight, very amateur problem in front of what was in front of me. That I went to her and spoke to her about, how I couldn't probably understand a concept in math. And then she just told me one thing, that every problem has a solution. And I think that has stuck with me to date.
Correct.
So, yeah, the only person that comes to my mind is her when it comes to love. And I see why you brought up the point now. So please continue.
Yeah.
Self-love.
So all of these people, yes, they are very much there and we love them. They are very important in our lives. But at the same time, I think it is also very important to put your name on that list, that I am important to myself and I love myself, right? It is not that you're going to be selfish, right? It is absolutely fine to give yourself a priority at least once in a while, right? It is not at all selfish. And like Nisha just said, it happens many a times that she spoke about mother. You look at any women figure around you, okay? Not just at home, even in the workplace. Many a times women are given roles which are into that bracket of you will need to care for people, you need to be more subtle, you need to be more smart, we don't need anybody very aggressive, so on and so forth, right? But while we do that, it is not that I am a woman first in the workplace. I am a leader and I need to be able to do that job well, that task well, right? So I can always practice tough love, right? And that is extremely important in the workplace, right? I don't have to be always very soft and very kind and caring if the work suffers, right? But at the same time, the other stereotype becomes that the moment a women manager or a women leader uses even slightly higher pitch or sound, if she's assertive, she's not looked at being assertive. It gets seen as, oh my God, she's so aggressive, right? But that same thing, when a male manager does, it is fine. So those are the biases, right? And because of those biases affecting me, I change my behavior, which is not required, right? You are a professional there first and not depending on the gender, right? So that is something that we need to tell ourselves, that in the workplace, yes, I have my own priorities, same way at home, and that is important. Okay, so I hope next time when you put down this list, you will have your name, whether first or second, that's up to you, but I want to see your names there as well, or our names. Yeah. All right.
Such a great point, Tripti. I completely enjoyed that, and I didn't see that coming at all.
Right, right. So I think, and you spoke about self-love. So taking that self-love forward, I think what is important is, and while because we're speaking about the challenge aspect, is when we look at putting ourselves first, is what we call self-leadership, right? What is my relationship with myself? And that is something that we all need to look at. Do I have a great relationship with myself? Only when I have a great relationship with myself will I have the confidence, will I have the belief to achieve and do anything I want in life. Because otherwise, I keep doubting myself, right? And that is where I'm going to show you some statements. Tell me if those statements resonate with you. Okay. You can type in the chat box. If it resonates, you can say yes. Okay. Otherwise, you can unmute and share your experience. So, have you heard yourself say any of these statements at any point in time? Not every day. No one likes me. Okay? I am a bad person. I never get anything right. Okay? I'm not good enough. I am so dumb. Okay? Or I do this, right? And I'm not, sorry, yes, I give up. I will not be able to do it, right? So does any of these statements resonate with you? Do you ever say it to yourself?
Yeah, Kritika says yes. Deepita says no, never.
Okay.
Thankfully, never.
Thankfully, never, Anand says, okay. All right. Yeah. So I think if it happens, never wonderful. But there are times where, it could be a kind of a self-talk. Okay? Now, if Kritika, right, you felt that sometimes there could be a time where I do doubt myself. Now, why do these negative statements come to us? Any thoughts?
So Kritika says she feels that I feel I'm not good enough. She says she feels that she's not good enough. And then Kavita says that she said yes, she has had these thoughts. I give up. I will never be able to do this.
Correct.
Yeah, that's something that she...
Now, I'll give you a very simple analogy here, and especially why it happens more often with some of us, right? It happens because one is the expectations that we set on ourselves, right? Two is we try and do too many things at a time. And women are known for that, multitasking. And at many a times we take pride that I multitask, right? Now, just because we've taken that pride, we can't not multitask, right? We always want to multitask. Now, what happens as a result of it is I am not able to do justice. And multitasking, there is enough research to show that it doesn't help in the long run, right? Now, while we try and multitask, I am comparing myself with peers. So when I'm in the workplace, I am probably comparing myself with a male colleague for whom career is priority number one. And for whatever reasons, family comes as priority number two. But for me, both I'm trying to balance, right? I'm trying to balance my work as well as I'm trying to balance my family life. And family life will have so many more facets to it, right? My husband, my children, my in-laws, my parents, so on and so forth, right? And then it just doesn't stop there. I keep comparing myself with how everybody else is performing. Okay? Now, is that a right comparison? For me, if career is priority number two and family comes one, can I compare myself with a male colleague for whom it's exactly the reverse? I'm not being fair to myself, right? Or at home, and I'll give you a very, very simple example, okay? Most of the times it happens that your spouse will probably like some favorite vegetable made by his mother. And I'm sure Anand can relate to this, right? And there has to be one favorite. Ye mummy ke haath ka bahut acha hai. I hope everybody understands a little bit of Hindi here. Okay? And then I will take it so much to myself and personally that, oh God, मैं ये recipe बना ही नहीं सकती like my mother, like my mother-in-law. Why do I want to make it like somebody else? It can be my recipe the way I want it. right? It does not need to be like anybody else's, right? So I think that is the first barrier that we need to break for ourselves to come out of this rut if we get into it. So these are all self-limiting beliefs which hold ourselves back, and we need to break those, right? We can
So,
break them only by, and there is a very simple activity. If anybody is fighting with,
sorry, Tripti, if I can just stop you there.
yeah,
Actually, Deepika just shared that she never feels like that because she loves herself. And
wonderful.
and Kavita Shetty says that it's very true. Women cannot have it all. These are words of Indra Nui. I want to know everyone's views on this and your view
Yes.
especially.
So Kavita, I would agree to that. The only thing is we can't have it all at once. So I cannot have everything at once. And I think that is something which, yes, even I've heard Indra Nooyi say that. Apurva Purohit, who is the ex MD CEO of Radio Mirchi, she spoke about it, where we should not demand that from ourselves. And superwomen only exist in Hollywood and Bollywood movies, more so in Hollywood, not in real life. There is no point trying to stretch yourself to a point where we start feeling that stress. So, and I completely love what you said. I think about Dipita, right? That the most important thing is loving ourselves. And that's exactly the mirror work that I was going to suggest here. Okay. So, mirror work basically says that can we have positive affirmations spoken to ourselves every day? And a lot of people find this very, very challenging. So when I speak to some of my clients and I ask them to do this as an activity, many people have come back to me saying this is very difficult. Get up in the morning, look in the mirror, look into your own eyes, and say these positive statements. Some people have a struggle looking into the mirror in their own eyes, and that tells you something. Okay? So I think that's a little bit that we can do for ourselves. Practice these positive affirmations and tell yourself that it's fine, I made a mistake, it's okay. It's absolutely, the world does not end with one mistake. I like myself, I love myself. I did something bad, that doesn't make me bad, right? Mistakes happens with everybody. Okay? Some aspects can be hard, but I will keep trying. So if I try, maybe someday I can succeed. Okay? And I think yet is a very magical word, right? Rather than saying that I can't figure it out, or I can't do this, or I am not strong, I don't have the ability, the moment you add that yet, it changes the meaning, because you're saying that I can't do it yet, but someday I will be able to do it, right? And I think that's a big word, the three-letter word magic, what we can call it, right? We need to tell ourselves that, yes, I am enough, I am strong, I can do it, right? And I am worthy, because with these small statements, we are creating that love for ourselves. Are we all okay?
Absolutely. Keep
Right?
going, Tripti.
Sure. Okay. So now we've looked at all of these aspects, and we looked at also the challenges, some challenges that women can face in the workplace. But while we break from these, okay, there are reasons for us to celebrate. Okay, and I'm sharing with you one small reason which I came across recently as a part of one of the HBR articles, that how women leaders at work have done better during these COVID times. And I thought that's a great news to share during this time. So before I share that data, how many, I'm sure all of you have heard about glass ceiling. Have you heard about the phrase glass ceiling?
Yes, Tripti.
And what does glass
Of
ceiling
course.
mean to you? Especially when it comes to women in leadership roles. So it is basically a barrier, which is an unseen barrier, which stops us from advancing in the career. Okay. Now, glass ceiling very commonly used across corporates. There's also something called as the glass cliff. Right now, what's the glass cliff? The glass cliff is basically, it is said that when a company is in trouble, okay, a female leader is put in place with a charge to save it, right? Now, when the responsibility is given, it is already in a broken state, right? With कि ठीक है ले लो कर पाए तो ठीक है otherwise it's there, right? So that is the glass cliff. Now this is a terminology that is being used. There are many articles written on these, but what is important is, so COVID times were probably those cliff times, right? But while we look at this, when women are given some of these roles, is it that women are better leaders during crisis? And I think that is what this study has proven. So this is an opportunity to celebrate, okay? And I think that is again another thing which many a times not all women do. We need to learn to celebrate our success. Yeah? Whatever small, whatever big, buy yourself a 5-star, doesn't matter. But as long as you've done something you want to celebrate, we should. Yeah? So this is what the research says, that during pandemic, most of the employees rated women leaders overall good in their leadership ratings. Women leaders scored better than male leaders on almost 13 out of the 19 parameters, competency related. Yeah? So this is a great response from their direct reports. Also, it showed better engagement during the pandemic times. So pre-pandemic times also it was good, the engagement level, but during pandemic times it was even more, right? So these are some of the responses, and this is what the direct reports expected. Okay, so as people in the workplace, I think this is something we all can take back. Where are we willing to learn new skills? Whatever my role be, I think that is very, very important. Do we emphasize on developing? If I'm in a managerial role, I can look at developing my team, my people. If I am at a role where I'm an individual contributor, can I look at my own development? Do I focus on that? That has to be a priority. Okay? Do I display honesty and integrity? Core, it is a value, right? And are we sensitive, okay, to understanding that these are challenging times, and I need to be conscious about the stress, the frustration that people might be going through. Okay, so I think that is something which we need to be sensitive uh, while we are interacting with our team. Okay? So that is it in terms of the data and the response. Okay? So while we do all of this, okay, what is most important is any of these happen only when each one of us is empowered, and self-empowerment will come from within. Okay? The magic happens from inside. It is not externally driven. However much anybody tells that you need to empower, it has to come from within. And what do we do to make that come from within? Okay? I think that becomes very, very important. Can I take control of my own life? Can I set my own goals? Can I align my goals with my dreams and aspirations? Right? Because only when I'm able to do that, I will achieve those. And when do I set my goals as a priority? When I have myself as a priority. If I am not a priority for myself, I will keep putting my goal on the back burners. Right? And that is something that we should not be doing. Okay? Now, how do we empower ourselves? Okay? So I'm going to share with you simple 8 tips. Okay? And then, if you have any questions, we can take that. So what are these 8 tips? And out of these, it's a list for you to pick and choose whatever is applicable to you. Right? So my first point on empowering yourself is, let us take responsibility for our own life. Any decision that I take in my life is because of me, because of the choices that I made. I don't need to blame anybody else or point fingers at my husband, my parents, my brother, my friends, that today I'm here because of somebody else. No, I am here because of the choices that I made. Right? The word responsibility is a beautiful word. Right? It is your ability to respond. So you have chosen it, right? Each one of us chooses it. So it starts with me, right? So that's first. Let us take responsibility for our life. Second, and very, very important, is believe in yourself. Anything that I do, I need to have faith in myself. I need to believe in myself always. If I don't have that belief, it will affect me. It affects my conviction. It affects my behavior, right? So that will always happen. Okay? Um, the third point, and I think this is very, very important, there are no mistakes. Okay? We might end up making some mistakes, but those mistakes are an opportunity to learn. Okay? So any mistake is a cue to tell that, okay, I am not in the right direction and I need to change course. What is important is, do we pick up that cue? Many a times we make mistakes, we get the cue, but we choose to ignore it. Now, if I don't pick up the cue, nobody else can help me, right? So it's my responsibility to take it and seek another direction. I feel this is extremely important, especially for all of the women. eh. Take care of yourself. You can't pour anything from an empty cup, right? Unless I take care of myself, I can't take care of. So it's like that airline announcement: first put your own mask before helping your child, right? So unless I do that, I can't help anybody else, right? So keep making sure that how full is my cup, right? Am I happy? Am I kind? Am I compassionate? I am all of this towards others. Am I compassionate, kind, caring towards myself? That is very important. Yes. This is something which, how many of us here invest time to meditate? Anybody? You can give a yes, no in the chat box. Okay. I got a yes from Anand.
And Dipita also says yes.
Okay, great. So I think, the time, slowly you can increase it if you're not used to meditating.
Right.
But at least to begin with 5 minutes of meditation each day, each morning, is extremely important. Rather than waking up, looking at your phone, I think that's the worst thing that we can do to ourselves. Waking up with a gadget, sleeping with the gadget next to us, put it far away from you, right? Not in your bedroom at all. Okay. But when you wake up in the morning, if the first half an hour, if half an hour is too much, maybe 20 minutes, don't look at that gadget. Okay? Keep it away. Take 5 minutes for yourself in fresh air and just keep your eyes closed and sit. Don't do anything, right? Slowly you can start practicing meditation, but that's blissful and it's very, very important.
Tripti, Kavita, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Kavita says, yeah, she does it through yoga.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's great. A combination of yoga and meditation, great, right? So the sixth point is be grateful. Okay? Enjoy those little things. I can be grateful for so many things around me. The only thing is I'm not conscious about that, right? So express gratitude towards your family members, towards nature, whatever, right? But be grateful, it helps. Decide that I am the master of my life, my fate, and my soul. Once I am the captain of my soul, I become more responsible, right?
Right.
Towards myself. Last and extremely important is keep your vibrations very high. So there is a lot of interesting insights which says that negativity can't reach you when you're at a certain level of vibration. Vibration is the energy that we can have in ourselves. If my energy is high, negative energy can't reach me, right? And how do I energize myself? I can energize myself by being positive. And how do I become positive? I become positive by being grateful, by being kind, by being compassionate, by caring, so all of these things. But whatever little bit we can do each day, right, goes a long way. Surround yourself with positive people. The moment you're surrounded by yourself with negative people, and if you observe, you will notice your energy drains down. So if you have even a 10-minute conversation with somebody who's cribbing, your energy will drain down, right? So stay away from those negatives, keep your vibrations high, and stay positive, right? So those were the 8 tips. You can choose whatever, whichever tip you think you need the most in your life. But I would love if each one of you can type in the chat box, what are your 2 takeaway points from this session? So whether it is with regard to the mirror exercise or with regard to the tips that I have just shared, whatever it could be, right? If you could share 2 takeaway points that you will practice each day and that you accept as a challenge for yourself, I think that will be wonderful. Okay? So while we are at that, here is my message for you. Be unique, be yourself, right? And I think that is the most important point, right? Being ourselves, loving ourselves. So yes, open to question answers, Nisha, or if anybody wants to share anything.
Yes, we're now open to any views, thoughts, stories, questions about the session. I think Anand has written what he felt about the session. He says,
Yeah.
yet is the, yeah. Anand, do you want to talk about it, or should I just go ahead and read it out?
Oh, I can speak also.
Yeah,
Thanks.
sure,
So
sure.
thanks to Boo, that this session is really good. I mean, at times what happens that you are some or the other time in your life, in your career, aware of these thoughts, but it doesn't hit you. And it is very important to keep on reiterating these things to yourself. And when it is being narrated so beautifully as you have done, it it gets imbibed and you start understanding that how much you need to have all these in your DNA. So, nutshell, my biggest takeaway, not that other points are not important or good, but yet is the magical word that I would say resonates with me a lot. And I would say that this is the biggest takeaway for me, that yet there would be many things you would say that I was never a husband, but yet till you got married. I was never a father till you got kids. I was never a manager till you had a team, and likes of that. And go on.
Right.
So that is the biggest takeaway. And the second biggest one is that be yourself. I mean, never ever lose your identity, what you are. Keep that, if you have that child in yourself, alive in the right sense.
Yeah.
Keep that rigor, what you have or what you had when you were 5 years old, have that even today for whatever you do.
Correct.
So thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much, Anand. Great. Anybody
Thank
else?
you. Thank you, Anand, for being so profound about it. It was great listening to you. Very energizing, Tripti. Amazing session. Absolutely amazing. I think for me, the thing that has stuck by, and of course that hit me at the time when you were talking about it, is kind of putting your name before anything else. I think that that completely resonates with me in every sense of the way you kind of explained it, and that was one. And I think overall the things that you touched upon, it's always there, like we are all subconsciously aware of it, but it's not something that we do, especially being women. And I think that has a lot to do with, I mean, this is just my opinion and thought, is I think that had a lot to do with the way you were growing up, and the
Exactly.
connotations to different things, and meaning of life at the time. I think it was it's very different for everyone.
True.
So
And
yeah, I
naturally,
think
today times are changing. So, that is
exactly.
really very, very good. However, whatever said and done, those stereotypes are still deep down.
Exactly.
So it is changing, but yes, they are there.
Absolutely. And I think for me, what kind of made that huge change personally was when I joined art school, and that was like my unlearning moment. Everything that I had ever known as in existentially meaning of life, etc., everything kind of got debunked. And ever since, it's through work and different things, I try to make small changes as well. But thank you so much for this.
Great. Thanks, Nisha.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you've learned. I think, are there also some messages? I can see the chat number has gone up.
Yes. So there is Kritika. She says, one is to love yourself, her takeaways, and the two would be keep your vibrations high and always manifest positivity.
Great.
That.
Great.
And I think Kavita also has shared the best tips is to love yourself, which she never realized. And the second is you cannot pour from an empty cup. So keep yourself positive and healthy.
Great, Kavita. It's a pleasure. Wonderful, wonderful. So guys, I have one request. Can we all have the cameras on for a minute? I would like to take a picture here. Doesn't matter if you're at home, if you're at work, whatever your background is, whatever the dressing is, it's fine.
Thank you, Deepika.
Yes, so I'll just take a screenshot. Thank you, Kritika.
Thank you, Kritika.
Nisha, if you want, you can also take a picture.
Sure.
And then share it. I think, see, virtually, yes, trainings are happening, but I do miss the part of that personal touch and that connect. So remotely, this is the only way that we can connect. Yes. So any questions? Right. I think there's some message on the chat.
Oh, thanks for the wonderful session, Kavita says.
Okay. Thank you, Kavita.
Does anyone want to share anything, apart from all of this?
Thanks, Trupti, for the wonderful session. So I was just looking forward. So Nisha said there is something happening for an event, and the topics looked really fascinating. So I wanted to know what all would be covered in this topic, and it's really helpful. And there are a lot of things which we would have never thought. Oh, this would be the the point of. I mean, there were things we were knowing back of my mind, but never thought of it in such a way. So it was very helpful. And thanks for the session.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. And, we are only 1 hour. There is so much more to this topic, but maybe sometime later. And happy Women's Day in advance.
Thank you. Wish you the same.
Yes. And let's celebrate each day, not one day.
Sure. Yeah.
I personally feel so. Sure. And by the way, Anand, do you know there's also a Men's Day?
Yes, now being part of corporate world, you get to know these. My team celebrated it once. So
yeah, correct. It's in November.
November, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Sure. I think thank you once again, Tripti, for giving us such an energizing session. And thank you everyone who joined us today. And wish everybody a happy International Women's Day. Just to tell everyone, next week we would be having an exclusive virtual roundtable discussion in the pharma and healthcare space. So request everyone to join if it interests you. And thank you once again for joining us. Thank you,
Thanks,
Tripti.
Nisha. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks, everybody. Wonderful spending the time with you.
Absolutely. Likewise, Tripti.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.